We got a couple bogeys here. Do you really need cardio? Papa Swolio, do you really need cardio? Fasting worth the aggravation? Oh, we got a couple bogeys here. We got a couple.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
We got a couple bogeys here. Do you really need cardio? Well, it depends on the context. Do you need it for what? I mean, when you're walking, you're doing, like when I'm sitting here, I'm aerobic right now. My body is oxidizing fat primarily, not in a large quantity, but I'm sedentary. So I'm pretty much utilizing 95 to 100% fat for energy right now because I'm at a low intensity, long duration. And that's what determines what energy source your body is going to utilize. Are you doing intense exercise? Are you at a lower intensity? And what's the duration of that activity? And your body will shift back between various forms of energy substrates. For example, if I just get up and start doing some squat jumps, my body is going to tap into the creatine phosphate and the glycolytic system. But as I'm sitting here at a low intensity, just talking to all of you, I'm not utilizing a high amount of calories, but the actual energy substrate will be through fat oxidation. And that's just what your body does to maximize energy output and to maximize the return on what you're utilizing. So it's just evolution. So needing cardio, it depends on what you're doing cardio for and what the context of the word need. But I do cardiovascular activity, but I prefer not to go just running down the street for fucking miles and miles. I like sprints. I like plyometrics. If that's something where you don't have any kind of postural imbalances and you can do them safely. When you're overweight, you're trying to lose a lot of weight, you should not be doing plyometrics or a lot of running because you're putting a lot of stress on an imbalanced system that is going to put you at high risk for injury or like tendonitis or any kind of like pain and discomfort and stress on the body because you don't have good posture yet. And you have a lot of extra weight that's slamming down on your joints. So kettlebell work, mace bell, Indian clubs, I like that kind of stuff more than doing just straight standard cardio. I like actually getting sweaty and, yoga, stuff like that. That's much more challenging, much more beneficial than just running endlessly. But I do like walking and that kind of stuff. In other words, if you enjoy the cardio, that's fine, but I would not use it as a main focus of what you have to do every day. I would use that as a seasoning, like you're putting a little salt on a steak. It's not the steak, but it's a seasoning that can add a little bit more enjoyment and maybe fill out some other things in your life. And it has to be something that that would positively affect your life. I think cardiovascular capacity is important, but to the extent that people obsess over cardio, it's not all that. It's not something that you have to like kill yourself over. It's much more important to be lifting, practicing mobility, and all these other types of strength training and mobility, and then adding in just boring ass fucking cardio, if that's something that you're interested in. But there's many more enjoyable forms of cardiovascular activity that will benefit your cardiovascular system that won't be just repetitive movements over and over again. But walking's fine, sprinting's fine. Just long distance running is just much more risk than it's worth for the vast majority of people. Vast majority. You need to be very, very, very well trained to start going. And most people just get on their running shoes and go running. That's why most people get hurt or they quit. It's just not the ideal approach to get what most people want as a result. Fasting's fine. It's not fasting worth the aggravation. There's no aggravation. If you're getting aggravated, you're probably just not fat adapted. Fasting's amazing. Not eating breakfast is fantastic. Skipping food for one day is totally normal and good for you. You shouldn't be stuffing your face all the time. There's many different ways to eat. So I usually don't eat earlier in the day. I have time restricted eating window and that works well for me.
We stay woke, but y'all sleep. Rilla mo, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. That's a stay woke. We in Rilla mo, that's a stay woke. Rilla mo, stay woke. Rilla mo, that's a stay woke. Rilla mo, stay woke. Rilla mo, stay woke. Rilla mo, that's a stay woke. Rilla mo, stay woke. Yeah. Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown. You are the king of apology. You about to see a new side of me. I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empire fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All